各位朋友，大家好，各位记者好，今天呢是我们在美国的访民代表在美国的新闻大厦俱乐部举行的关于请求美国政府驱逐中国大使馆公使徐学渊的一个新闻发布会。那么。
So good afternoon, every friends. Good afternoon, our journalist friends. Today, we, as part of the Chinese petitioners in the USA, we are now holding the press conference for the appeal to the American government to exile the Chinese minister Xu Xueyuan.
我是赵岩，曾经在 美国的《纽约时报》北京分社做过记者，现在也是访民。
My name is Zhao Yan. I was working as one of the reporters at the affiliate of the New York Times in Beijing, and I now is also one of the petitioners.
坐在我旁边这位呢是钟国伟先生，来自中国的广东。
Sitting beside me is Mr. Zhong Guowei, who comes from Guangdong Province.
那么今天在座的还有这个我们的访民代表，王春燕女士、金月花女士、艾凤荣先生，李焕君女士，还有陈香薇先生、艾凤荣先生，陈树广和蔡小明正在路上。
And today, present at this conference is some of the petitioners, such like Mrs. Wang Chunyan, Mrs. Jin Yuehua, Mr. Ai Furong, and Mrs. Li Huanjun, and Mrs. Cai Xiuling, as well as Mr. Chen Shuguang is now on their way to this conference room.
还有这个我们孙进喜先生因为他是一个身体这个残疾，现在来不了，他的夫人在这坐。
And also Mr. Sun Jinxi, because of his illness, because his disability, who cannot personally come to this conference, but we are happy to have his wife here, sitting in among the audience.
还有一位乔杰老大姐，因为在8月17号的这个晚上8点多，被中国大使馆的这个工作人员攻击致脑出血，现在正在医院治疗。
Especially to mention is a senior-aged old sister, a senior-aged lady, Mrs. Qiao Jie, who is now lying in hospital bed as a result of the attack by the members of Chinese embassy evening at about 12 with the attack results of getting hemorrhage in her head.
宁先华先生，还有这个蔡文君女士，以及这个孙健先生、陈文媛女士，他们都在这个路上因为这个路途遥远
On their way to this conference room are still some of the other petitioners, such like Mr. Ning Xianhua, Mrs. Cai Wenjun, and Mrs. Chen Wenran, and etc.
这些人呢，都是在中国大府政府被中国各级政府呢，把他们的财产和房产，以及这个各种各样的这个财物，抢劫了。
All these people suffered the robbery of the committed by the Chinese government, who robbed their assets as well as especially their real estates.
我们下面请钟国伟先生呢，进入这个今天会议的主题，由他来宣读驳斥诽谤、揭露真相的一个报告。
And now we'd like to invite Mr. Zhong Guowei to enter into the main topic of this conference by reading out the open letter of deputing.
我的标题是剥欺诽谤，揭露真相。
My topic is depute slandering and revealing truth.
副题是中指公使徐学渊和他率领的中国大使馆打手暴力团，才是中国大使馆指出的真正的反华不法分子。
With the subtitle of the middle finger waving Minister Xu Xueyuan and the hitman violent gang group under her leadership are indeed anti-China lawbreakers, which the Chinese embassy referred to.
针对中国驻北大使馆8月19号在其官网发表了黑白污蔑和平访民、欺骗中美两国政府和国内媒体的所谓声明，我们现在严正驳斥和谴责于上。
And staying in counterpart to the so-called declaration made by the Chinese embassy in USA on August 19th on its official website, which turns black to white and insulted us peaceful petitioners and cheating both the governments of China and USA as well as the media. We are now solemnly doing the deputing and condemn as follow.
近几年来，在中国国家领导人来美访问现场，在中国大使馆、中国驻美大使馆外交官舍和平抗议、示威、请愿的中国访民，也曾经受到美国警察的逮捕，但是通过法院的判决，均被判为无罪。其中比较有影响力的5个案件的号码。
In recent years, the Chinese petitioners peacefully protesting, demonstrating, and petitioning on spot of the visiting scenery of the Chinese state leader at the Chinese embassy or at the diplomatic premises of the Chinese embassy in the USA were arrested by the American police. But all of them were declared innocent through trials of courts. And 5 of the cases with the following case numbers are some of the influential cases.
王春燕1冒号19杠 CR 杠0008。
First with Wang Chunyan, 1:19-CR-00087.
音乐化1冒号19杠 CR 杠00171杠1。
金约化 1:19-CR-00171-1。
艾富荣1冒号19杠 MJ 杠00083。
I Furong 1:19-MJ-00083。
陈树广22CMD 3597。另外一个案子是1冒号22杠CR 杠 00260。
陈书光 22 CMD 3597 with another case number 1:22-CR-00。
白杰明1冒号19杠 MJ 杠00022。
with by Jimmy 1:19-MJ-0022。
所以，中国大使馆宣布的所谓的不法行为，是严重违背事实真相的，因为这是按。
So, the so-called illegal activities declared by the Chinese embassy are actually against the truth of facts, because they are all declared innocent in the above cases.
中国驻美大使馆现任公使徐学渊最近还亲自和多次现场指挥使馆的20多名工作人员，用暴力袭击了我们这是和平请愿的中国访民。
The current minister of the Chinese embassy in USA has recently herself and many times on spot were commanding more than 20 members of the embassy to attack with violence on us, the peacefully petitioning Chinese petitioners.
中国大使馆在其官方网页和对国内媒体颠倒黑白，污蔑我们这些和平访民是不法分子，企图掩盖徐学渊和他率领的众多使馆成员的暴力犯罪。
The Chinese embassy has in its official website, as well as announcing to the Chinese media by reversing black to white, insulting us, the peacefully protesting petitioners, as illegal ones or as lawbreakers. They would like to conceal the willing to conceal the violent crimes committed by Xu Xueyuan and embassy members under her leadership.
这里面还包括诬告陷害犯罪、伪证罪、教唆罪、伪证罪、妨碍司法公正罪等多项严重犯罪和欺骗中美两国政府和国内媒体的严重犯罪事实。
And these crimes may include the crime of slandering, of perjury, of abetting perjury, and obstruction of judicial justice, which severely cheated both the Chinese and the American government.
这些访民在中国被贪官污吏强抢了财产，有些人和家人还遭到了严重的人身伤害和非法关押。
And these petitioners were robbed of assets by corrupted officials in China, and some of them and their family members have even suffered severe personal injury and illegal detainment.
中国地方政府还以解决问题为名，诱骗海外访民回国，却禁止他们离开中国。
The local Chinese governments even tried to trap with the issue for solving problems for them to get them back to China, but ban them from leaving China,
甚至把他们关进监狱。
and even have thrown them into prisons.
其中，在美国的中国访民江琴女士和乔杰女士就亲身经历了这样的邮骗。
And the Chinese petitioners, such like Lady Jiang Qin and Mrs. Qiao Jie, they experienced personally such kinds of traps.
被非法扣留护照，甚至是非法关押。
With their passports being illegally detained and even themselves being illegally detained.
中国驻美公使徐学渊对访民叫嚣：“我可以让你们的案子永远解决不了。”
The Chinese minister in USA was yelling with pride to the petitioners, "I can make your cases forever unsolved."
是中华人民共和国外交高官和驻美公使应该说的话吗？
Is that what the higher level of diplomats and a minister in American of the People's Republic of China should say?
更为令人发指的是，中国驻美大使馆工作人员在美国警察的眼皮底下，对来自中国武汉的70岁的女访民乔杰进行了残暴无耻的袭击。
What's more outrageous is that the members of the Chinese embassy in the USA have attacked his violently under the eyes of American police so ferociously and relentlessly. The female petitioner with the age of 70 years old from Wuhan
导致该女士当场被送医院抢救，并被确诊为颅内出血。
which was leading this lady to emergently being sent to the hospital for emergency treatment and was then diagnosed with intracranial hemorrhage.
至今仍被迫躺在医院病床上等待接受不得不做，但是死亡风险很高的开颅手术。
And so that she's now with inevitable craniotomy operation with very high risk of death.
在如此坚持和平抗议到底，
In spite of such bad circumstances, the petitioners in America from China will be peacefully petitioning for further.
这也是本次新闻发布会的重要内容。
And that is also the important content of this press conference.
我们强烈要求中美两国政府和司法机关对此事尽快作出严肃处理。
We're now strongly appealing to both the governments and judiciary organs of both Americans of this accident.
我们在此再一次呼吁中国政府，
And now we are again appealing to the Chinese government.
第一，尽快解决在美中国访民的合法诉求，严惩涉案的中国违法人员。
Immediately solve or satisfy the legal requirements of the Chinese church in America and severely or seriously punish the involved Chinese officials.
第二，以公开、公平、公正的方式 尽快受理海外访民的冤案。
Second, as soon as possible to receive the grievance cases of the abroad petitioners with the attitude of opening, justice, and equality.
第三，努力做好有利于中美两国人民的实际工作，尽早落实国家对海外访民工作的最高指示。
And thirdly, to do their best effort to carry on the actual working to the benefit of both of the people both in China and America, and as soon as possible to implement the highest indication from the Chinese state for the work of abroad petitioners.
让每一位在美访民尽快结束上访的噩梦。
To let every petitioner in America end the nightmare of petitioning as soon as possible.
开始有尊严的生活，
And start a life with dignity.
把有限的精力投入到美好的未来。
And to push their limited energy into a beautiful future.
谢谢大家。
Thank you, everyone.
下面呢，请赵岩先生呢介绍在美部分访民的情况。
And now, we'd like to have Ms. Chen to give an introduction of the situations of some of the petitioners in the USA.
我先介绍我们左边和右边的两位翻译啊，左边的是张威先生，右边的是何山先生。何山先生原来是自由亚洲粤语部的资深记者和主任，那么也是中国委的广东老乡啊。那么下一个呢，应该是按程序啊，我们播放这个中指公使徐学渊啊，在他的家门口和在中国大使大使馆以及这个大使馆官邸啊，他向人民诉中指以及这个满大街上骂人民的这个视频。
So now we'd like to also to introduce to you all the two interpreters today on the table. One of them on my left side is Mr. Zhang Wei, and on the other side on my right is Mr. He Shan. And Mr. He Shan was working as one of the important reporters of the Radio Free Asia. And now we'd like to show you through our videos about how the Chinese minister Xu Xueyuan, this lady waving the middle finger to the peaceful petitioners, and how she was commanding the sacks from the Chinese embassy, as well as cursing the petitioners all around on the streets at the Chinese embassy, as well as the diplomatic premises of the Chinese embassy.
这绝对是这个世界外交史上啊，和在美国华盛顿啊绝无仅有的空前的一幕。
This is absolutely a scenery in the history of diplomacy in Washington D.C., which is unprecedented.
更是外交史上的丑闻。
And what's more is the scandal in the diplomatic history.
好，请播放。
Now let's show it.
由于这个都是用手机拍摄的啊，由于用手机拍摄，所以这个效果呢，不是用专业机器啊拍摄的好，大家多多原谅。
Because all of the videos were taken by our phones, so that the effect of the videos may not be so ideal as taken by the professional equipment.
狗奴才，狗奴才，狗奴才，骗子，狗奴才，狗奴才，骗子，骗子，骗子，骗子。狗奴才，狗奴才，狗奴才，狗奴才，狗奴才。
Yep, this lady is the Chinese Minister Xu Xueyuan.
Which is no diplomatic plates.
中国公使。
Diplomatic, not diplomatic plates.
It's
司法不公，司法不公，王党亡国，王党亡国，强拆民宅，强拆民宅，天理难容，天理难容，铲除腐败，铲除腐败，还我真诚呀！
李树春大姐啊，还有你王春燕大姨还是大姐？大姨啊，大姨，金月花你大姨，你大伯，哎，不用找你打网球来了啊，网球拍呢？啊，好。来，给你拿这个挑战吧。
This strong young man holding the megaphone in their hands and trying to attack with the megaphone physically and also with the sounds, which is extremely loud and hurting. They are, rushing to the peaceful petitioners.
他们打人，打人，打人，打人，打人。
刚刚那个胖子，他拿这个，
快点看。
拿这个啊弄的，我喊你们都喊不进。拿这个，真，我一下就弄了。哎呦，我心脏不好。
你忘了，你给他翻译说他心脏不好，又拿血管瘤。
I got here, but
she had pushed down somehow. She had pushed down somehow. She had pushed down somehow. Does she need an ambulance at all? Ambulance, hospital?
Hospital, yeah.
She wants to go to the hospital.
给我开，
给开个，
给我拿一颗。水呢？给我拿一颗。我的病历。
Okay.
They work for the embassy, right? So they're diplomatic
They're taking her to Georgetown
Georgetown Hospital. Thank you very much. 对，我知道了。
Yeah, this lady, 70 years old, peaceful petitioner from Wuhan, now being sent by the U.S. Secret Service to the hospital for emergency treatment, is now still lying, as we show. That's a picture taken several days ago. But she is now still lying in hospital bed, and with in compliance with the doctor's orders, so that she cannot get out of the hospital. Although she likes very much to get out of the hospital, she has to stay and waiting there for a high-risk operation, a so-called craniotomy, which means to open her head for treatment of the bleeding inside her head. And shown on this video on the screen are the hitman group of the Chinese embassy. As very obscene. He was doing this indecent act to a lady, namely Wang Chunyan, who is also here sitting in the audience. And that's a notice of declaration which turning black to white on their official website by the Chinese embassy.
Oh yeah, you can't violate First Amendment rights. So if I'm on the embassy, if she's on the streets, people here First Amendment. So you have the right to demonstrate. I have no right to interfere.
书记蔡奇，在北京市曾经有个就是住在牛街的一个姓谢的谢警员，对，他来到美国。就是当时的市委书记是郭军龙，
Now showing on screen is
王安顺，
Mrs.
他们
Li
通过一个电
Kuan-ju,
话
who used to stab or block the car fleet of visiting Chinese President Xi Jinping twice. For sending her appeal. And this lady in pink T-shirt is Chinese Minister Xu Xueyuan. She's now snatching the phone held by Mr. Chen Shuguang, who is now taking video evidence of what's happening. And Chen Shuguang shouted to the security person or the member of Secret Service that she's attacking me, she's attacking me.
They don't speak English, right? They just hire gunmen or gangs. Yeah, but not those.
这段视频啊，是记录了中国大使馆的中职公使徐学渊啊。
The video above record the head of the mission, the Minister of PRC, using her middle finger.
对人民竖中指，谩骂人民，组织大使馆的工作人员当街做性动作。
Daylight, and then accusing peaceful protesters from China, and also sexually harassing peaceful protesters.
猥亵 和这个侮辱啊，刚才坐在后面的那个女访民王春燕女士。
Insulting one of the petitioner you see in this auditorium at the back end of these press conferences.
也这个谩骂了这个艾芙蓉、金月花包括我。
Including 艾芙蓉、金月花 and me were scouted by this head of mission of PRC.
那后一段呢是展现了徐学渊公使啊，抢陈树广的手机，教唆他中国大使馆雇佣的私人保安如何作伪证。
Is this minister trying to slap the cell phone of the protester who are trying to record the evidence?
以及欺骗美国
and deceiving government.
国家特勤局和美国国务院外交人员保护司
Department of State and the protective service of the foreign envoy
的工作人员对陈树广呢进行枉法的关押。
As a result, Chen Shu-guang, who tried to record the evidence, has been arrested by the U.S. Foreign Service.
还有这个更精彩的画面，一会儿陈树广和蔡秀玲来，他们做一个更好的 PPT 给大家介绍。
Evidence and video you've seen will be introduced by Mr. Chen, to the audience, to the attendants later.
那我们下面的那个宣读一个致拜登总统的公开信，请何山先生直接用英语宣读。
Next, the group of petitioner will have an open letter to President Biden. This letter has been prepared and then it will be read out by the interpreters. Now, dear Mr. Biden, we are a group of Chinese petitioners residing in the East Coast. Recently, outside the Washington, D.C. embassy the area, unprecedented diplomatic scandal happened. It was concerning the head of a mission or the minister of the PRC's minister, a female minister, Ms. Xu Xueyuan. She not only on broad daylight accusing U.S. citizens and U.S. residents that with her middle finger, embassy suites of Ambassador Qin Gang and her own resident. This lady also organized a group of 20-something protesters, something security guards trying to attack on these peaceful petitioners. As a result, an old lady, Mr. Chao Jie, now is still in prison, and she has suffered dizziness, insomnia, and nightmare. For the utmost, we cannot understand why this head of mission on June the 25th, he tried to slap an attack on peaceful protester Chen Shu-guang, and during the attack, she also said that, well, I can knock you down. The most annoying is this head of mission of PRC trying to send a Chinese petitioner, Mr. Chen, in prison. He tried to bribe the security guard and make fake evidence, and a group of a security guard to make perjury statement accusing Chen is the attacker. Mr. President, under your leadership, the White House Secret Service should work according to procedures. Without a prudent investigation, Mr. Chen should be returned home with innocent. Mr. Chen has been residing outside the PRC's embassy suite for the past 2 years. President, can you answer us why outside the White House Lafayette Square, we've seen U.S. protesters has been setting up a tent for more than 2 decades. why U.S. peaceful protesters can set up a tent outside Lafayette Square, but not Ms. Wang Chunyan and Chen Shuguang. They are using a public sphere not far away from the PRC's embassy. Can you tell us which is more important, rule of law or the face of the Chinese government? Prosecutor now is accusing and indicting Mr. Chen Shuguang a diplomatic attack, which is a federal felony. But this is outrageous, simply twisting the right to brag. United States this is a peaceful nation. USA is proud for its democracy and freedom. The indictment on Mr. Chen's is just unbelievable. Well, it should be said that many of the US government has been fooled by the Chinese head of mission or the minister of Ms. Xi. She has already violated US Constitution and law. That's why we are writing to you and using this podium and send you a letter. We want to assert that Mr. Chen is innocent. Where without the rule of law and separation of power, we do not see two of the petitioner, including Wang Chun, Bai Jiemin, and Ai Fuyong. They are sitting here in this podium. They was once accused of similar crime, but they were all evicted and were set free by the US court. The middle finger minister, she has already fooled the US government. She fooled her own nation's foreign mission, including the Foreign Security Council. Ms. Xi also trying to make up a story, trying to accuse these peaceful protesters as working for the US government, and they have the umbrella, they have the protection of the US law, and to enact unlawful behavior, but which is totally true. Moreover, inside China and Beijing, including the Beijing Daily and a few hundreds of Chinese media, use its media landscape trying to defame the peaceful protests outside the embassy. The result is a tremendously defamating. President Biden, Xi Xueyuan, the head of minister, has through the US government. She also provide false evidence and organized gangster trying to attack innocent protesters. She should not be escaped from the US law. That's why we are writing to you. We hope President Biden can exercise the right to protect your citizens and extend the protection to us. We are residents residing in the USA. And we also urge your government to exercise scrutiny on those Chinese officials trying to put peaceful protesters from China into a perjury status and correct their mistake. American is a nation ruled by law. Everybody living in this land should enjoy the rule of law and enjoy the sunshine of the judicial fairness system. And we also want you tell your old friend, Mr. Xi Jinping, under President Xi Jinping, your leadership, on China, you have launched a mass-scale anti-corruption movement. However, your foreign missions are still acting as an umbrella for those corruptive activities. And we urge President Xi, you should strip away the diplomatic immunity of these head of mission, Ms. Xi. And then, according to law, and take away the diplomatic immunity, including those attackers outside the embassy compounds. President Biden, we hope you can comply with the Vienna's convention, evict all those attackers, including this head of mission. Were this head of mission saying in the USA, the rule of law, the rule of the US law, the rule of the US Constitution cannot be seen as maintained under your leadership.
下面我们连线这个在华盛顿医院的乔杰大姐，她正在病房医治。那因为这个设备问题呢，我们只能用手机、微信跟她连线，完了给大家看。希望大家谅解。
Now we FaceTime the petitioner who are still in hospital, Ms. Chao Jie, because she cannot attend this press conference. We can only show you the FaceTime live video.
乔杰大姐就是刚才电视画面当中所体现的啊，被大使馆的一个年轻的安保啊，不到30岁的一个年轻安保，高个子用高音喇叭，用警笛的声音刺激他，拿喇叭砸他，最后的砸倒了啊！现在他在画面中，因为他不会这个很多人只会用手机，所以没法把它那个进行更大的这个画面，望谅解。
In this video, Mrs. Xiao is the practitioner you see in the previous video that was attacked by loudspeaker from one of the security guard employed by the Chinese embassy, and then because she do not have too much a cell phone capability, this is the only way that we can show you from the hospital.
他现在已经是在医院住有半个月时间了，正在准备接受这个脑部的手术。
She has been hospitalized for more than half a month and waiting for necessary medical procedure, including a open head surgery.
乔杰大姐，您现在在画面中了，您可以跟记者们还有你的老朋友们说话。
Ms. Xiao, now you're online. Now you can talk to the press in this auditorium.
说吧。
Yeah.
大家好。
翻译。
我是武汉访民乔杰。
等一下。
8月17号。
Hello, everybody.
等一下，给你翻译呢。哦，对不起。
Yeah， 一起来。Hello, everybody. I am the petitioner from Wuhan.
您接着说。
在8月17号。
On August 17.
一句句讲。等一下，你转完一句，他要翻译。讲吧。
好。
Yeah, on August.
我们和平抗议。
On August 18, we are peacefully protesting outside the residency of the PRC's envoy.
说吧。
被徐杰轩指示的底下一帮国保局的小伙子们把我头打了。
I were attacked on my head by a group of gangsters. I suppose they were employed and recruited by the PRC.
说吧。
后来被救护车紧急救往医院救急。我现在已经在医院有21天了。
I've been hospitalized for 21 days. We're now that the embassy, evicted, get rescued to the hospital.
说吧。
现在正在接受治疗，我的头痛啊，很痛很痛。
I'm now under treatment. My head is, my head is a pain, and I cannot walk.
说吧。
等待的我就是要头颅要开刀治疗，等待我的恶果。
The next awaiting surgery is the open heart procedures.
继续说。
哎，现等待着我的是很危险的场面。
It's a dangerous moment, dangerous scenario for me.
说吧，小姐。
哎呀，我好累呀。
I'm very tired.
谢谢。
Thank you.
谢谢记者们的关心，谢谢。
Thank you for your concern, the press. Thank you.
好了。
刚才那个电视画面当中，所有的警报器的刺耳的声音啊，高度刺耳的声音、强音，都是来自中国大使馆那些官员用喇叭放出来的。
The high volume attack come from the loudspeaker held by the Chinese embassy staff or their attackers. Supposedly they recruit.
我们当中现在的很多人，包括我自己，耳朵经常的这个失聪啊，还有这个眩晕啊，晚上做梦啊、失眠啊，这个状况都有。
Participants on the scene, including me, are still suffering a dizziness and nightmare, cannot sleep.
我们不知道他们的喇叭有没有特殊的装置，但是访民用的喇叭是没有的，都形状上都一样。
We do not know where those loudspeaker has any special specification, but the loudspeaker we use are ordinary. You can see.
那么访民用喇叭是和平请愿，呼喊秦刚大使能够注意访民的这个控告，接待访民，倾听他们的心声。
The loudspeaker we use is peaceful. What we shout is, Ambassador Qin Gang, please pay attention to our requests.
但是我们看到使馆工作人员对访民的这个回击已经非常清楚了。
But what we see in the response from the embassy staff is very clear.
好，谢谢。那么下面的这个我们那个今天啊后半程的这个视频的这个就是被徐学渊中指公使徐学渊冤屈的陈福广先生来到了现场。
Now we come to the second section of this press conference. We see Mr. Chen that we mentioned just now has arrived the podium.
他和这个王春燕女士呢，在3年前，在中国大使馆的门口搭建了一个帐篷，因为她无家可归，所以搭建了一个帐篷。
3 years ago, Mr. Chen and including another practitioner, Mr. Wang Chunyan, set up a tent outside the U.S. The Chinese embassy in the United States.
王春燕女士就坐在这个这个后面。
Miss Wang is sat in the back bench.
她非常艰难，她的这个母亲死在上访的路上，弟弟被辽宁的黑社会和警察一起合谋给杀害了。
Mrs. Wang has a very tough and personal petitional history. Her mom was murdered on the way to tell her story, and her younger brother were also,
弟弟被杀害，
including her younger brother were also killed.
妹妹呢被打成精神分裂，因为强拆，这些都是因为强拆。
And because of petition, her younger sister has now suffered psychiatric illnesses.
对，那他父亲呢，也几乎是这个被打成这个被打以后呢，这个失忆啊，状态啊，身体也非常不好。那于去年也去世了，一家是家破人亡。
Her father, because of the peaceful petitioning, also been beaten, has lost his memory, and then in last year, her father passed away.
他来到美国没有住处，所以在大使馆前搭了个帐篷，坚持了3个多月。
She came to the United States without any residency. The purpose is to petition to the Chinese government. She has been. She has been residing outside the Chinese embassy for 3 months. On the first day she arrived, on the first day she arrived at U.S. soil.
那陈树广呢，因为一个司法腐败呢，20多年，也是这个在来到美国以后呢，这个家也分了，那么也没有住处，最后也是到大使馆啊，一个坚持在帐篷当中。
Mr. Chen has also suffered from legal mistreatment for more than 20 years. He also set up a tent like Mrs. Wang outside the embassy of the PRC.
那么他们2个在大使馆坚持等于抗议了，合在一起坚持抗议了1年零10个月，接近2年。
Combining their petitioning outside the embassy, a total of 1 year and 10 months.
不幸的是，美国国务院安保司外交官员安保司啊，使用中国的办法，违反了美国的宪法，把这个帐篷给强拆了。
Unfortunately, their tent was removed and evicted by the State Department's Foreign Mission Security Services.
这个也是违反了美国的宪法。
And it violated the U.S. Constitution.
第一修正案。
And the First Amendment.
那么下面呢，我们就请陈树广先生和他的这个翻译蔡学玲女士给大家播放这个还没到，好，那你
我只能就是这个视频它还在一点点。
Now we invite Mr. Chen to tell his story.
半个小时，那我们先进行别的啊。
Okay, because we're still waiting for the interpreters. Now we go to the next section.
那我们下面请这个大家看一下啊，在美国的中国的访民啊，在中国的访民，先后在从2015年到这个2019年，先后10几次啊，这个为了伸张他们的冤屈，按照中国传统文化拦轿告御状的方式，向中国国家主席习近平先生多次的以及。
Now we are going to show a video of the Chinese petitioners from 2015 to 2019 of their petitioning records, which is in accordance with the Chinese tradition to try to uphold their right and reverse their crime.
那么，视频在他电脑里。那么这个视频呢，记录了在华盛顿以及佛罗里达马哥庄园的多次的这个惊险的画面。
This video showed the petitioning record, including in Washington D.C., Florida, the outside Mar-a-Lago, which is it looks really risky.
拍摄的有这个艾弗隆先生。
The recorder of the video, including Mr. Ai Fu-yong,
宁先华先生，
Mr. Lin Xianhua,
还有我本人，
in me,
还有自由亚洲的这个记者啊，马利克先生，
also a reporter from Radio Free Asia, Mr. Malik,
等，
and others.
对。那么这个大约有3分钟的时间，我们现在请这个张维先生进来给大家播放啊。
Yeah, let's see the video is around 3 minutes.
赵伟。
放那个视频，对，李焕君女士在那儿站着啊。这个第一个画面就是她在2015年啊，在美国的国务院门前。
The first shot you see is Ms. Li Huanjun, also in this podium, sitting at the right corner.
结果她把当时的副总统拜登的车队误认为这个是国家主席习近平的车队。
去年就是已经把诉状交到习近平贴身助理手里的时候，我以为他会给我解决问题，但是至今杳无音讯，石沉大海。我想再次当面的把我的诉状交到习近平的手里，问问他为什么不给我解决问题。
中国人民对于人权以及公义的呼唤。 有些访民不顾自身安危拦阻车队，也引起了当地执法人员的关注。我们在我们的画面上也看到了，这是您当时拦车的情况，的确非常的危险，非常的凶险。您跑到路中间去，当时车队呢也开得特别的快啊。你可不可以跟我们讲一下当时你的心情还有现场？
这个是王春燕女士的台上画面。
This video is from Miss Wang Chunyan.
艾芙蓉先生。
And Ai Fu-yong. Yeah, on the you will see on the back bencher.
金月花女。
This is 金月花。
也在后面。
Yeah, on the second back. Yes.
李淑春大姐80岁，今年。
This show a petitioner 80 years old, Miss Li Shuchun.
她拄着单拐，站在刘贺车队的前面。
He's standing outside Premier Liu He.
那这一天呢，艾芙蓉、王春燕啊，还有陈香薇、金月花，大家都在场啊，还有10几个访民。
On this day, including Ai Fu-yong, 金月花 and 10 others petitioners were on the scene.
在美国贸易代表办公室门外，
王春燕几乎这个抱住了这个刘贺去送信
大喊：“刘贺，还我财产！”
Ms. Wang Chunyan almost successfully get closer to Premier Liu He and hand in her petitioner letter.
美国之音拍摄的现场画面显示，还有2人在路中央拦车，但车队已经过去。
他们如此勇敢，都是因为他们自己的财产啊，被各级地方政府给抢个精光。
They were so courageous because all their personal belongings and properties were nationalized by the provincial government.
但是法律又不给大家以公正。
But the law inside China do not give them justice.
那么在中国多年的这个文字记载以来，蓝车向这个历朝历代的这个领导人告状是有历史的。
Petitioning in front of the empire, like you see in this video, has a 2,000 years history inside China, according historical records.
愿意冒这样的风险去维护自己的权利。
No one would dare make such high risks to sacrifice their life in protecting, in order to protect their properties.
但是正因为在中国大陆法治很难盛行。
But because of rule of law inside China has not been fully implemented.
各级政府官员把法律和老百姓的人权践踏在脚下。
Each level of the provincial government has dictate their right on ordinary citizens.
没有办法的前提下当法律没法显法律的尊严、法律的公正没法展现在世人面前，没法在每一个受苦受难的人、得不到公正的人面前展现的时候，只能采取这种办法。
As a result of no other better means to show rule of law in front of the public, and no other better ways to secure the personal rights.
在2016年华盛顿4月初的和安会后
，In 2016, Washington D.C., April, after the summit of nuclear security and safety.
国家主席习近平
President Xi Jinping
对访民的问题所反映的问题批示了这个6个字。
Xi Jinping has answered a 6-word directive to the petitioners' issue press.
要有紧迫感、责任感、使命感。
These 6 words directive is 要有紧迫感。We need to have a urgency and
紧迫感。
Yeah, we need to have an urgency and we need to have a sense of urgency, sense of responsibility, and sense of mission.
大家已经看到了，他派他自己的侍卫长、警卫参谋到美国的国务院门口下来接了李焕君女士的诉状。我当时在现场。
You can see on this video, President Xi has sent his security officers and accept the petition letter from Ms. Li Huanjun. Yeah, I was at the scene.
那还有湖南的访民张伟学，还有北京的访民郭红。
Including Guo Hong and
张伟学，湖南访民。
From Hunan 张伟学。
但是北京市委市政府接到这个习近平的批示，直至今天没有解决任何问题。
However, the Beijing's municipal government, without any action, even after they received the 6 words directive I mentioned above from President Xi.
那么，北京市另外一个访民郭红被骗回北京以后，现在投入精神病院。
Another Beijing petitioner Guo Hong has been triggered, has been full and going back to China. Now he has been settled, has been sent to psychiatric ward.
也许他永远不会有自由了，我不知道。
Perhaps, and I don't know whether Guo Hong will resume his freedom.
正是因为连国家主席习近平对这些事情的关注都得不到落实。
Because even from the directive of the President Xi, his directive cannot be implemented.
所以才有了大使馆前搭帐
That's why you see the tent
和
setting up
我们
outside
现
the
在
embassy
每天向
compounds.
秦刚大使请愿的这样的场景的出现。
Yeah, and then that's why you see our petitioner, our daily petitioning to Ambassador Qin Gang.
我们希望未来的中国能够像世界的文明国家一样，
We hope China in one day will, like other civilian nation of the whole world,
法治得到彰显。
the rule of law can be seen.
尽管在美国这个特勤局和这个华盛顿的检察官对中国的访民也有抓捕，也有起诉。
Even though in Washington D.C., the Secret Service and the prosecutor has indictment to Chinese petitioners residing here.
但是我们看到美国有全过程的民主，
But we have witnessed in the United States we have a full procedural rule of law, a full procedural justice.
也有正规的人民的审判，
And formal court hearing and ruling.
所以才有了这个王晨燕坚持认定自己无罪。
That's why we see cases like Miss Wang Chunyan. He was eventually given innocent judgment.
和其他后续的访民得到无罪的这个判决。
Miss Wang is the first one.
他第一个不认罪。
Miss Wang Chunyan was the first one to not admit her guilt and set free, and followed by other court rulings. They all resumed innocent and set free.
王晨燕赢了官司其他后续的访民都依法没有这个被判刑。
Had Miss Wang won the case, that's why no other peaceful protesters has been sentenced into jail.
那么下面这个因为这个那个视频还在这个制作当中那我们现在请这个王晨燕宣读致国家主席习近平的公开信。
哎呀，我没戴眼镜，我读不了，您带我读吧，我戴不了。 我的眼镜没戴，我那个是眼睛两个不一样度。
我来读你。
不是，直接读英文就好了。
读英文
读中文就这个。好，麦克风。
因为中间的案例人物需要看中文，好，谢谢。这封信呢是我执笔的，但是我不太习惯这个念稿子。那但是今天还是得念，因为涉及到每个人的案件。
And this letter was written by me, although I'm now used to read the prepared paper. I have to do it for it involves the individual cases of the presenting petitioners.
尊敬的国家主席习近平先生好。
Respectful Mr. Xi Jinping, as President of China.
我们是来自中国的在美的部分访民。
We are a part of the Chinese petitioners living in the USA.
今天我代表这些部分访民，向您致一封公开的信。
And today, on behalf of this part of the petitioners, I'm now writing to you an open letter.
主要是向您反映最近发生在美国华盛顿建成以来，前无古人恨外交丑闻事件。
To you, the event of diplomatic scandal, which was now so unprecedented ever since the building up of the Washington City as the capital of the United States of America, and which can severely can now find similar future similarities.
2022年8月10日上午和8月25日上午8时13分。
On August 10th, in the morning of August 10th, and at 8 o'clock p.m. 13 in on 25th in the year 2022.
我说错了，8月10号晚上8点13分。
So for the correction, what I've just said is for 8 p.
8月几号
in the evening at 8 p.m. 13 on August the 10th.
10号上午，我说错了，对不起啊。在美国的华盛顿。
I'm sorry. It's in the morning of August 10th.
在美国的华盛顿的中国大使秦刚官邸附近。
And near the residence of the Chinese Embassy Qinggang in Washington, D.C.
下面呢，由我来代替赵野呢，先把这个前面的陈述一下，后面的案子呢，要赵野来介绍啊。我先。
So I'd like to read it out now as successor of Mr. Zhang Yan, and afterwards, Mr. Zhang Yan will review to you the details of the cases.
在美国华盛顿的中国大使秦刚官邸附近，发生了面对我们访民的依法请愿。驻美大使馆公使、外交官徐学渊不仅部门唱夜雪接待，相反的对人民竖起了。
So here's the residence of Mr. Qinggang, ambassador of China.
徐学渊作为中国大使馆的2号人物，违反国家的外事纪律和外交人员法，与访民互骂打奸，还觉得不过瘾。
As the second leading figure of the Chinese embassy, Xu Xueyuan was breaking the foreign affairs discipline and the law of diplomats of China, and they are. She was cursing with each other. She was cursing the petitioners on streets.
在极端情绪的控制下，竟然亲自下车攻击访民和指挥大使馆20多名年轻力壮的保安人员，用高音喇叭攻击60、70岁的年老体弱的访民。
And even though not to her full satisfactory and control of possible extreme mood, she got out of the car and even attacked, assaulted and was commanding more than 20 very strong security members of the Chinese embassy to assault with the high sound megaphone the petitioners, such like us of the age of 60s and 70s with very weak health situations.
此事在华盛顿的外交界言论激起了非常恶劣的国际政治影响。
And this event has stirred a very bad international political influence in the diplomatic circle and in press circle in Washington, D.C.
早在6月25日下午，徐学渊就对和平请愿的访民陈树广 进行诬告，说陈树广攻击他，抢夺他的手机。
As early as on June the 25th in the afternoon, Xu Xueyuan was attacking the peacefully petitioner Mr. Chen Shuguang and was maliciously slandering him of attacking her and snatching her phone.
在华盛顿制造了一起捆绑白宫特勤局和美国国务院的违反宪法、签打法律的越南。
And thus made a case of injustice in Washington, D.C., which kidnapped the Secret Service of the White House and the Department of State to trample on the Constitution and the laws.
现在美国法庭已经根据详细的证据宣布陈树广无罪。
Now, Mr. Chen Shuguang was declared innocent by American court based on detailed evidences.
陈树广根据现已掌握的证据，准备状告中国大使馆和公使系学院。
And with the evidence, he's now mastering. Mr. Chen Shuguang is ready to make lawsuits against the Chinese embassy and its minister Xu Xueyuan.
更为令人发指的是，中国驻美大使馆工作人员在徐学院的暗中指挥下，在美国警察的眼皮下，对来自中国武汉的70岁的女访民小姐进行了残暴袭击。
And what's more outrageous is that the members of the Chinese embassy in the USA entered the commanding behind the curtain of Xu Xueyuan were attacking ferociously the 70-year-old female petitioner Qiao Jie from Wuhan under the eyes of the American police.
导致该女士当场倒地，并被送医院进行抢救，被确诊为颅内出血。
Which made this lady knocked down on spot on ground and was sent to hospital for emergency treatment and was diagnosed with intracranial bleeding.
至今仍被迫躺在医院病床上，等待接受不得不做的风险极高的手术。
And who's now still lying on hospital bed, waiting for an inevitable operation with very high risk.
但是，造成极恶劣影响的终止公使徐学院，不仅不思考如何改正错误。
On the contrary, the middle finger waving Minister Xu Xueyuan, who made such bad influences, did not only thinking of how to correct her wrongdoings.
相反，他还在8月19号在其大使馆的官网发表了颠倒黑白、污蔑和平请愿访民、欺骗中国外事委员会和国家安全委员会。
On the contrary, she even published in the official website of the Chinese embassy on August 19th the declaration which reversed black to white, insulted the peacefully petitioning petitioners, and was cheating the the Chinese Central Committee for Foreign Affairs, as well as the Chinese Central Committee for State Safety, and as well as cheating President Xi.
以及欺骗习主席的大使馆声明，这个欺骗中美两国政府和国内媒体的所谓声明，表现出对习主席提出的外交为民、以人民为中心、江山就是人民、执政为民等思想最大的反动。
In such a so-called declaration, cheating both the Chinese and American governments as well as the Chinese media, showed its biggest counteraction to the sort made by the sort of diplomat for the people, with people as center, and the country is the people, and carrying on government activities for the people, these kind of sorts raised by President Xi.
我们现在向习主席你陈述真相。
And now we are presenting the truth to you, President Xi.
近几年来，在主席你和其他领导人来美访问期间，在你和其他领导人来美朝访期间，访民是采取过中国传统文化中拦轿告御状的行动。
In recent years, during your visiting the USA and as well as other state leaders visiting, the petitioners did carried out the actions such like the actions of the traditional Chinese stopping blocking the silence of the high officials to make an imperial appeal.
那是因为访民对你所反对的司法腐败，不给人民以诉权，不给人民以法律的公正，才导致的无奈情况下采取的办法行动。
Such approaches and actions the petitioners have taken in circumstances of they are so helpless to the facts which you are against, such like judiciary corruption, granting the people with no right to lawsuit, and granting the people no justice of law.
没有谁愿意冒着生命、失去生命和在美国坐牢被抓的危险，而采取那样的行动向你请愿，那绝对是不得已而为之的。
No one would like to take the risk of losing life and the risk of being arrested and sent to imprisonment for taking such kinds of action to appeal to you is absolutely in our helpless situation.
那是勇敢地向你举报国内腐败的拦车告状勇士，在国内都是没有犯罪记录的良民。
These brave people who bravely try to block your car fleet to report the corruption situation in China are all good people of no crime reports.
都是被各级腐败官员欺压的冤民。
And they're all petitioners with grievances suppressed by all kinds level of corrupted officials.
在美国拦车告状，他们也遭到美国警察的逮捕。
To block the car fleet in America, they were arrested by the American police.
但是，正是因为主席你所赞美的和最近几年倡导的全过程民主中的人民审判的机制，那些向你控告国内腐败的勇士，才都被判为无罪。
And just because of the mechanism of trial by people during the whole procedure, democracy, which you, dear President, were praising and advocating in recent years, these brave people trying to making their accusation to you about the domestic corruptions in China, they were sentenced to innocence.
习近平主席通过我们上述的陈述，就不难发现外交部在天津会谈中的第7项，以及中国大使馆最近宣布的所谓不法行为，是严重违背事实真相的。
Through our narratives above, dear President Xi, it's not difficult to find that the Article 7 in the Tianjin conversation committed by the Ministry for Foreign Affairs and the so-called law-breaking activities or illegal activities declared by the Chinese embassy recently are, in fact, severely against the truth.
中国驻美大使馆现任公使徐学渊和多次现场指挥使馆的工作人员用暴力袭击了我们，这是和平请愿的访民，他们才是不法分子和外交战线腐败分子。
The current minister of the Chinese embassy in the USA, and the members of the under her commanding on spot, who violently assaulted us, the peacefully petitioning grievance, they are the illegal people and the corrupted ones in the foreign affairs area.
中国大使馆在其官方网页和对国内《北京日报》等不明真相媒体颠倒黑白，污蔑我们这些和平访民是不法分子，就是徐学渊企图掩盖他率领的中舵使馆成立的暴力犯罪。
So, the Chinese embassy was declaring in its official website, as well as to the Chinese media, such like the Peking Daily, which are not aware of the truth, were reversing black to white, insulting us peaceful petitioners as lawbreakers. And that is the facts that what Xu Xueyuan was trying to conceal, what the crimes made by amount of embassy members under her leadership.
这是他们是犯了诬告陷害罪、伪证罪、教唆伪证罪等妨碍司法公正多项严重犯罪和欺骗中美两国政府和国内媒体的严重犯罪事实。
Actually, they are committing a series of crimes such as malicious accusing through slandering, crime of perjury, crime of abetting perjury, and further crimes of obstruction of judiciary justice, as well as cheating both the Chinese and the American governments and the Chinese media.
我们访民在中国被贪官污吏强抢的财产，这些人和家人还遭到了严重人身伤害和非法关押，甚至遭到了暗杀而死亡。
We the petitioners were robbed of assets by the corrupted officials in China. Some of us and our family members suffered even severe personal injury and illegal detention, and even assassination and death.
有些地方政府还以解决问题为名，诱骗海外访民回国，然而却禁止他们离开中国。
Some of the local governments even trapped the petitioners living abroad to go back to China for solving their problem, and then banned them from leaving China and even sent them into prisons.
甚至把他们关进监狱。其中在美国的中国访民江琴女士和乔军女士就亲身经历了这样的诱骗，被非法拘留护照，甚至是非法关押。
Miss Jiang Qin and Xiao Jie, as Chinese passengers living in America, have personally experienced such trapping or being illegally detained, with their passports being illegally detained, and even themselves being illegally detained.
北京访民郭红回国不久就被投进精神病院，至今无法自由。
Petitioner Guo Hong from Peking was thrown into insane hospital after she arrived China. Shortly after she arrived China, and still suffers from no freedom until today.
习近平主席终止公使，徐学渊公然对访民叫嚣：“我可以让你们的案子永远解决不了。”
Dear President Xi, the middle finger waving Minister Xu Xueyuan yelled with pride in public to the petitioners, "I can make your cases never be, your cases never solved."
他不是法官，也不是具体案件的办案人员，他有何资格以你的外交为名，以人民为中心，依法治国的光辉思想顶着干？
She is not a judge, not a personnel for dealing with concrete cases. What qualification does she has to act against your glorious swords of diplomacy for the people, with the people as center, and carrying out politics by law?
这不是中华人民共和国的 外交高官和驻美公使应该说的话。
This is not what a diplomatic high level. This is not what a high level diplomatic and minister in the USA of the People's Republic of China should say.
2016年4月华盛顿和安会以后，也就是李焕钧第2次向你告御状后，你再次就信访工作批示责任感、使命感、紧迫感。
After the nuclear safety conference in April of 2016, that is after the time where Li Huanjun made her second imperial appeal to you, you made for the petitioning work the instruction of sense of responsibility, sense of mission, a sense of urgency.
时任上海市委书记韩正和他的接班人李强根本不把你的指示当回事。6年过去，上海近10个海外的真访民被强拆数百米旅店、5金店，损失超过1亿人民币的，至今也没有拿过1分钱的爱富有。
The then municipal party secretary Han Zheng and his successor Li Qiang, they never cared your instruction. After passing of 6 years, the real petitioners, about a dozen living abroad, who was suffering forcible demolition of large scales, for example, more than 100 quadrat meter of their business, their inns and their hardware shops, such as Mr. Ai Furong, with the loss of over 100 million Chinese renminbi, has never received a penny until today.
还有300多米营业面积私人房产大酒店，但仅得10万买厕所都不够的资金的金月花，就是因为现任某常委老婆拿走巨大利益，所以你的紧迫感得不到落实。
And Mrs. Jin Yuehua, who had owned a private real estate operated by her as a hotel with a square of more than 300 quadrat meter, received only 100,000 renminbi, which is not enough for her to buy a restroom, and that was because that the current member of the committee of the standing committee of the Communist Party has taken away huge profit, resulting in the fact that the sense of urgency raised by you cannot be implemented.
在美国的北京访民只有李焕钧一人。李焕钧在2012年7月在北京市丰台区南苑乡石榴庄各级政府暴力强拆。
the petitioner from Peking living in America has uniquely one member, namely Li Huanjun. Li Huanjun was suffering the violent demolition committed by different levels of the government of the Pomegranate village and the Nanyuan town, as well as district Fengtai, as well as the Peking municipal government. In July of 2012.
但正是因为石柳庄书记徐万超与原中纪委主要领导人的和江湖上说曾庆红的儿子的曾伟有做100亿的利益关系，因此蔡奇书记才不敢学习前任郭金龙一个电话就解决北京访民谢景元强拆问题的做法。
But just because of the fact that the village secretary, the party secretary Xu Guanchao of the Pomegranate village in which she was living has a relationship of interest of more than 10 billions of Chinese yuan with the former main leaders of the Central Committee for Discipline Inspection, as well as with the son of the former member of the Standing Committee of CCP, Zheng Qinghong. The Party Secretary Cai Qi of Beijing did not dare to learn from its former comrade Guo Jinlong, who solved the issue of a petitioner from Peking, Mr. Xie Jingyuan, with and his issue of being forcibly demolished just with one phone call.
广州访民中国委被监乡王本坚勾结广州市法院藏匿关键证据，致使中国委败诉，让中国委投资2000多万人民币血本无归。
The petitioner from Guangzhou, Mr. Chong Guowei, was swindled by a legal businessman, Mr. Huang Benjian, who colluded with the court of Guangzhou to conceal important evidence which made Zhong Guowei lose the suit.
在中国委发现问题后，多次向各级部门反映，却被踢皮球，一直拖着不办。
And this resulted in the loss of then 20 million yuan. After Mr. Zhong find this problem and after his reports many times to different levels of responsible authorities, he was kicked out between these authorities and his case of grievance was not dealt with.
黄本坚把美诚股份有限公司从国营企业转为民营企业，轻松地把10几亿国有资产侵吞了。
Huang Benjian transferred or embezzled the so-called Meicheng Company Limited from a state-owned enterprise to a private enterprise, and during this process, embezzled the state-owned assets for over 1 billion.
以往给中国委扣上侵吞国有资产的王本坚，才是实实在在的罪犯。善于腐蚀高级干部的黄本坚，又勾结了万庆良、任学锋，继续腐败。
黄本坚, who slandered Zhong Guowei with the so-called crime of embezzling state assets, is in fact a real criminal who is good at making the high-level cadres into corruption.
又勾结了万庆良、任学锋，继续腐败，不肯还给中国委一个公正。2018年6月28日晚上8点，任学锋和王本坚在广州军区大院密谋，包括继续掩盖犯罪和腐败的事实。任学锋被揭露后而自杀。
In his further collusion with high-level corrupt officials such like Wang Qingliang and Ren Xuefeng, which made them not to grant Mr. Zhong Guowei with justice. In the evening of June the 28th of the year 2018, the high-level official Ren Xuefeng and Mr. Huang Benjian, they were considering they were doing injury inside the yard, the official yard of the Guangzhou military zone, trying to further conceal their fact of crimes and corruption. With the facts that after the revelation of their crimes, Ren Xuefeng committed suicide.
下面由赵岩先生继续介绍那个大连访民王春燕的问题。
And the following, let's invite Mr. Zhao Yan to further introduce to you the details of the petitioner from Dalian, namely Mrs. Wang Chunyan.
因为这个稿子呢，这个是昨天刚定下来修改，那个要发出来的啊，大家提议嘛，我们都民主，李焕军和钟国伟先生呢都有这个做过修改啊，非
The
常感
speech was
谢。
prepared yesterday because of democracy, including Zhong Guowei and Li Huanjun. They all have input on this statement today.
那我接着来。大连访民王春燕的问题是，在抢夺其房屋的开发商被抓，和以虚名注册企业从王春燕家房基地附近拿走5.8亿资金的薄熙来的好友大连金州开发区书记徐长元。
The case of Dalian petitioner Wang Chunyan is because the developer they grabbed the land and set up a pseudo enterprise trying to take the property from Wang's land, which is worth of $580 million in Dalian, a development zone called Jinzhou.
开发区。
in a development zone, yeah.
书记徐昌元在其腐败事发后，
The secretary, the zone development party secretary Xu Changyuan,
在国家没收其2700套房子和100亿人民币。
and China has already nationalized the zone development secretary Xu Changyuan the wealth of more than $10 billion, including 2,700 properties.
的情况下，大连市委市政府依然不肯把抢夺王春燕的2处1000多平米的房子和财产还给他。
Under these circumstances, Ms. Wong, who were nationalized by this party secretary, and the party secretary has been sentenced, why should the property from Mrs. Wong should not be returned? That involved 多少
2处1000平米以上。
Okay, that includes a 2 property, roughly 1,000 square meter.
难道大连还是薄熙来在掌控吗？
Bo Xilai is in jail, so is it Dalian still under the control of Bo Xilai?
王春燕家破人亡，
Now Ms. Wang Chunyan has lost her family and has lost all her properties.
在佛罗里达，因错误地拦到了川普总统的夫人美拉尼亚和习近平主席的夫人彭丽媛的车队。
And in Florida, Mar-a-Lago, because Ms. Wong has petitioned wrongly to the First Lady Melania and the Chinese First Lady Peng Liyuan.
告一状，
She tried to send a royal petitioning at that time.
这些深渊的行动
All these action
无法得到大连市委市政府的重视。
all these royal petitioning actions still have not been paying attention by the Dalian's government and its municipal governments.
据辽宁的官员们说，
According to officials from Liaoning,
习近平主席您也过问过王春。
and she, according to them, you has inquired about Wang Chunyan's case,
要求依法迅速的解决。
and you urge her case should be resolved quickly and according to law.
大使馆
And the embassy staff in DC has even tried to Ms. Wong through community leaders in town.
但是王春燕不懂得向《纽约时报》北京分社工作，
All because I work for the New York Times as their Beijing bureau researcher.
又污蔑我是所谓的敌对势力和
And they
中央
frame me-
情报局工作人员。
And they frame me as the CIA employee and the anti-China counter-revolutionary comment.
我在国内起诉，要求法院对我的案子股权进行确权。
I sued the company inside China, asked for my justice.
但是法院剥夺我的诉权，
But the court
一
do
直
not
到
accept my
一直
case,
到最高院都不给我诉权，4级法院不给我诉权。
including the high court. The 4 levels of courts inside China, they both refuse to accept my legal pursuit.
诉权是人权的最后一道程序。
Legal pursuit is one of the human right that we need to safeguard. It is also, yeah, legal pursuit is part of the basic human right.
我算是一个曾经拿过记者无疆界大奖的资深记者。
Well, I would say that I should become as one of the press freedom defender for the award that I obtained from Reporter Without Border.
我在中国都进不去法院的门槛。
Even for me, I cannot get into the Chinese legal system. They refuse to accept my case.
拿不到诉权。
I do not have any right to put my case in court.
可想而知。
And you can understand.
中国大陆的老百姓，他们在法律的面前会是怎么样
？And you can understand ordinary citizens inside China how their legal right can be cheated.
今天来的访民陈祥威。
Today the petitioner you see here, Mr. Chen Xiangwei.
就因为他今天来参加这个会议。
All because he came here today for the press conference.
他的儿子和他的妹妹，我没说错吧？
我前妻。
前妻，对不起。
His son and his ex-wife.
于昨天晚上都被当地的公安机关软禁了。
Was house arrested by local authority. 昨天晚上。Last night.
他在华盛顿拦车的时候也出现过这样的情况。
A few years ago, it happened on him that he tried to stage a royal protest outside. In front of the entourage of the Chinese visiting delegation.
陈树广先生，在座的陈树广先生，这几天他也先后不断的被当地的公检法机关施加压力。
Including Mr. Chen Shuguang, you see here, recent days he has, the local authority from China has erect pressures to him. That's including the police, the law, and the prosecution department.
3天前，我和陈树广先生还有李焕军，在徐学渊家的终止公使徐学渊家门口请愿的时候。
3 days ago, we, Zhao Yan, Chen Shuguang, and Li Huanjun staged a protest outside the Xu Xueyuan, the minister that we talked about before, outside his, we staged a petition outside her house.
经常出来用高音喇叭攻击访民的一个。不愿意说出自己名字的使馆工作人员
，an embassy staff who used to attack us with a loudspeaker and refused to reveal his true identity，
直接就对陈树广威胁说
，this security guard and then threatened directly to Chen Shuguang，
法院25年没给你执行
，the law, the court inside China have not resolved your case for 25 years.
胜诉的案子
You want to win?
现在正在制作执行书
Now court is printing the verdict.
你敢去参加这个会议不想要钱了是吧
Dare you attend the meeting today? You don't want the money?
这就是中国现在大陆各地政法机构对现在在华盛顿访民的情况的所做出的方方面面的反应。
This is a reaction from China, their response to petitioners in the United States from all around.
徐学渊在对陈树广做完假案后
，the minister staged a fake case against Chen Shuguang. After that,
10天前，我曾经有一次面对面在大道上的对话。
We have once a dialogue on the 哪个大道？
就是他家门口。
On the avenue outside her residency. That happened 10 days ago. We have a brief dialogue.
我说你为什么欺骗美国政府？
I asked why you flew the U.S. government.
欺骗中国的外交部。
Decept the foreign mission of the PRC.
欺骗国家安全委员会。
And why you try to decept the National Security Council of China?
欺骗美国特勤局和
and
华盛顿的检察官。
And trying to fool the Secret Service of the DC government and the prosecutor.
他明知道陈树光先生已经对他的造假案进行了录像。
And she understands Mr. Chen Shu-guang has caught the evidence that all the accusation was fake, and then he's going to suit.
但是他依然疯狂地说，猖狂地说。
Well, but she still yelled, in front of us.
你们要钱就得老老实实的，大概意思。
You want the money, you have to be compliant with, roughly that's what she said.
否则就永远别想拿回你们的，解决你们的问题。
Otherwise, no way your case can be resolved.
他把自己当成了中国的司法皇帝。
She see himself as a king.
周永康。
She see himself as a king of the China's legal system. Another Zhou Yongkang.
对。上述这些案子。
All the cases I mentioned above.
我们在此希望国家主席习近平先生。
We hope President Xi
能够继续就访民，尤其是在海外的访民，做出新的关注。
And continue your inquiries to all the petitioners inside and outside China.
让你自己所倡导的公平公正的阳光照耀在每一个司法案件当中。
So that your effort, so that your efficacies of fair, justice, and legal under sunshine can be seen by all of us.
不要把在国外的访民当成国家安全的敌人和对手。
Do not frame us, the overseas petitioners, as the enemy of the state.
尽快的给访民恢复名誉。我们不是不法分子，我们不是暴徒。
Restore our name, our dignity. We are not enemy of the state, and we are not rogue petitioners.
但是每个人的忍耐都是有限的。
But everybody has his own patience.
我们不知道明天或者在未来，习主席来访问美国的时候，
We don't know whether tomorrow or in the future, when President Xi, you will pay for a visit in the United States.
访民们会不会再重新拦车？
Petitioner in the state, would that stage another royal petitioning to your entourage? We do not know.
或者创出更新的向您告一状的方式？
Or would another more creative method to tell you the message?
但愿所有的问题都能够尽快的解决。
We hope all the issue can be resolved soon.
拦车的故事不再发生。
And the royal petitioning should not be happen were our demand resolved.
乔杰和陈树广等包括王春燕还有我艾芙蓉、金月花被打被攻击的故事不再重演。
And all the story happened on us. 金月花、乔杰、艾芙蓉 and 赵岩 all our suffering will not happen again.
有人说国家援助非洲每年几百个亿，你们这点问题解决不是什么大问题。
There was a saying that the nation has helped the African nation for billions dollars. No big deal for that, and then our cases is it's pretty small amount.
几百亿美金啊。
We are talking about hundreds of billions US dollars to aid the African nation.
你们要给国家以面子，给官员以面子。
Now you want to give faces to the nation and the officials.
那么我在此要说，当一个国家的公民。
Then I have to say, when the citizen of a nation,
他的财产和房屋被抢，
yeah, his property and a house were robbed,
被抢
and forcefully confiscated and robbed.
人民没有尊严，没有在法律的保护下。 有尊严的生活。
When people do not have the dignity under the protection of the law and living dignitily inside a nation state.
政府和国家，包括官员们
and the government, including officials and its affiliates.
怎么才能有面子呢？
How can you all have faces?
此致敬礼。
Regard and yours.
2022年
Yeah, the date.
9月7号。
September the 7th, 2022.
采访那个会不用很平等，反正就是要问问题就问问题。
对，那下面就是我们那个。
佢問問題。
那些访民情况的基本情况。
已經講完了嘛，沒什麼講。
民选访都没来，这些人的基本情况，他们讲一下。在张伟。 那我们下面这个先请这个记者啊，对这个有关这个案子进行这个疑问啊。张维进来了啊。
Now is the Q&A section for the press.
张维先生呢，用这个视频和宣读的办法给大家讲一下，今天还有没参会的访民，他们的这个基本情况，他们的冤情是什么样。 有请。
读那个
宣读
他的姓氏排名那个姓氏排名那个。
在你电脑里。
就是他们的案情。
对，就是按顺序排名的。 不讲，就得讲。不是，就说就你一个人。对，每一个人读出来就可以。情况是吧？对。
So now for further introduction of the cases of injustice, what all of these petitioners living now in the USA, but still were fighting for to get their justice. There are some other which there are such as cases we'd like to know, as we listed it into our the petitioners their list of the brief introduction about the cases, as of which was now mentioned by Mr. Zhao Yan. He'd like to beg me to make a brief introduction as shown on the screen with words you can see, and if you have the interest to get into the details, we can make a copy of that for you, such like for example, most of them are out of real estates like I Furong, who was operating his hardware store and small hotel. It was forcibly demolished with violence by the Shanghai municipal government, especially with the cooperation of the district government, and the street power as a street government in 2004, surely without compensation. Otherwise, the petitioners without carrying on their protesting and demonstrating in America further in front of the Chinese diplomatic premises, such like general consular and in front of the DC embassy. Yeah, the last money will suffer to huge amounts, such as in this case of Mr. Aifurong, or to hundreds of millions of Chinese yuan. Yeah, that's it's amazing, and let's see that yeah, surely the personal injuries, such like being beaten, being violently violated, and being illegally detained are the normals and the only new normals of these people suffering from the persecution with violence, with the police power, and with the underworld mafia groups, under instruction of the police in their towns and cities, such like yeah, and we see that all right, as you see that Tsai Wen-jun, another female petitioner, because the detail is not, it's not in detail, but we see that the husband of her younger sister-in-law, Mr. Zhou Fengfu, and her father, Mr. Tsai Xin-hua, were even persecuted to death in 2002. Yeah, to our huge astonishment and anger. That is, as she was sent twice into the so-called reallocation for reallocation with labor for a long time, which totals to a period of 2.5 years. And we also listed the petitioners made the contact masters this time uniquely with their phone numbers. There's their cell phone numbers. If you have interest to contact them, you can get this documents. You can contact them personally to interview them about their further details about what they suffered and would like to appeal to both the Chinese and American government. And yeah, different kind of cases we are experiencing, such like in this case of a Mrs. Wenran Chen, is now also not a young lady, over 30 years, from Liaoning province in the northeast of China. Because of the bad quality of their gas pipeline, which resulted in the leakage and a unexpected fire or explosion, and the government didn't make any compensation. Petitioner from Taizhou City, Zhejiang Province, this is about his family business, which was violently robbed away from the yeah, basically another businessman, which is unscrupulously looted with local governments a long time ago in 1990. And yeah, oh, that's the legal representative of this family-owned operated company even experienced the death of their legal representative. Is I don't know if it's a murder or only accidents. He himself was listed as one of the main objects of the suppression by the Ministry of Public Security. That's headquarters of the Chinese police, and several variety of suppression such as beatings. 金月花 real estate robbery without compensation. She was mentioned in their narratives of the moderators before in several cases. Li Huanjun, that's one who did manage to stop the entire fleet of President Xi Jinping during his state visits in the year 2015-2017 in Washington, D.C., and who was received even by the head of the official guards of President Xi, who made her promise to definitely solve her problem without any coming out. Yeah, her family members, such as her elder sister and her younger brother, were beaten by the police group and by the personnel about the forcible demolition with violence. Detained and kidnapped was also her elder sister, and harassed even into the school of her daughter, and her mother was even illegally canceled the pension and canceled with the health insurance. Li Shujun, a senior woman, from Tianjin, which is also this is a metropolitan not far from the capital city of China, Beijing, and she was brutally beaten by the police and the security guards were her employer, resulting in multiple bone fractures on her bodies and severe loss of vision in both eyes and near blindness in one of her eyes. She still needs to work on crutches after now, who's now living in New York, so much I know. And from Liaoning province, Shenyang, a Mr. Ning, who was also brutally treated, and the demolition that threatened the local government threatened him and his 89 years old mother with demolishing their roofs and stairs and cutting electricity and water, is often used by the local government to illegally relocate so-called the legal customers, not the legal inhabitants, from their self-owned legal houses, rooms, and for him there's are a lot of valuable things as Chinese traditional calligraphy and paintings. He reported the loss of over 20 million Chinese yuan, generally resulting from the art schools he reserved. Mrs. Qiao Jie, as we've already seen from the live talk with her, who's now lying in hospital waiting for an inevitable craniotomy operation with high risk of death even. There's curious cases which you can or cannot imagine. The district in her city, Wuhan, from which the COVID-19 virus were coming out originally at the very beginning, from which we know the name of the city. This is about the the land right, which was deprived by it's just deprived from her by the illegal decision of the court. This also involves possible judiciary corruption. Wang Chunyan, many of her family members were beaten, were hurt, and even were assassinated with an axe, and was slashed on the heads of her father. Thank God his father didn't die, but his younger brother was beaten and even to death in the year 2014, and the body was thrown out of the train track. Her mother died in grief and anger in 2010 on the way to Beijing for further petition. She herself was illegally detained how many times? In Beijing and in Dalian for respectively 15 days, 110 days, and 30 days in Beijing. 中国伟, yeah, that's another history of being swindled by his counterparty in doing business, who colluded with high-level governors and judges to conceal important evidences and to surely through bribery. And interesting is in his case is that one of the high-level Chinese corrupted Chinese officials with name Ren Xuefeng committed suicide, generally for I don't know if it's basically for his case or at the same time for many of the similar cases of even more amounts of illegal incomes in the year 2020. And yeah, that's he is asking for or is consisting with the loss of then at that time, that's in 1997, the direct loss of 20 millions of Chinese currency yuan. Yeah, which is recently he could ask for more as yearly income, net, or yeah, in any kind of in accordance with the kinds of calculating method to discount them to today. How much money is should be much more than that. Let's see, that's the general information about all the people listed here as a part of the petitioners from China whose case of injustice have not been solved or even not at all touched by the Chinese local governments. Even some of them have did something such like trying to or have been succeeding in blocking the car fleet, such like the Prime Minister Liu He 3 years ago, and have been sending or already sent their appeals with the details about their cases to even the highest level, the highest authority, to the Secretary of President Xi, and yes.
好，那下面一个程序就是在座的记者可以问访民一些问题，他们的苦难以及关心中指公使徐学渊在华盛顿的丑恶的这个表演啊，有些问题当时现场人都在这儿啊，王春燕啊、金月花都在这儿，陈树广是那个被打的啊，被那个打的那个徐学渊打和冤枉的这个中国公民。那好。
So now is a Q&A time for you, the journalist. If you have any questions to ask the petitioners who experienced the violent persecution at the Chinese embassy, such like Mrs. Wang Chunyan, Mr. Chen Shuguang, Mrs. Jin Yuehua, who is now among the attendees of this conference. Any questions from you? Then they'll try to them.
自由亚洲那个马利克啊，我想请那个王春燕女士啊介绍一下，当时这个徐学元公使给你做出这种竖中指的不雅动作的一些详情。还有呢，问一下这个陈世广先生呀，就是说在你们的案子里面经常有说，他们这个你那个官司他们这个证据情况，你能不能给大家讲一下，他们如何伪造这个证据和如何把你的证据丢失，这种情况能不能介绍一下？
I'm Malika from the Radio Free Asia. I'd like to ask Mrs. Wang Chunyan a question of the situation of details as Chinese minister was giving you the middle finger, and same time like to ask Mr. Chen Shuguang the question about the evidences you gathered for your being attacked by Mr. Xu Xueyuan.
那天是几号？我有点记不清了。10号呢？我和10号，我和金月花，还有那个艾芙蓉，我们那个还有赵岩，我们一起去那个到徐学渊家门前去了。当时呢，就是艾芙蓉在车里我和金月花就到他家门前，他就出来了。他本身他出来了，他倒车，他就顺过去，他就要走了。结果怎么样？他呢就出来就开车，我猫在他家那个树那个我那个就是猫着那个猫着他那个树。
So, on August 10th, as I, together with Mrs. Jin Yuehua, we were going to the residence of the Chinese Minister Xu Xueyuan as we were protesting there. She was driving a car outwards, and by her driving the her car backwards, she was attended to hit us with her car, the back part of her car, and I was trying to by touching by patting or by with my hand on the tree, and I was trying to.
我猫在那个树后面了，我就有一种直觉哈，他那个出来直接鸣笛儿，开着那个车就奔着我来撞我来了。
And as I was hiding behind the tree, I have the feeling from the scene that she was driving her car to roll over us.
Yeah. 他就那个来骂我来了，他就下车就要打我，我就猫在那个树后面了。后来让他那个工作人员给他那个挪移开了，让他上车调过来呢，他又来骂我，就指着上车了，他就竖中指给我竖中指。
好。So as I was hiding behind the tree, and she was coming to me in her car and trying to get out of her car to curse me, and at that time, a member of the Chinese embassy came to her, trying to persuade her to stop.
他竖中指。
他给我竖中指，后来。
And she was giving me her middle finger.
后来他就上车了，给劝上车， 他又过来了，走在路上，警察给我赶到马路对面了。
And then she got on her car, and I was persuading of the member from Chinese embassy, and then she tried to come again, and then I was driven away by the police to the other side of the road, of the street.
到马路对面呢，他就骂我，他那个工作人员就拿喇叭就往我耳朵这么整，我就蹬他那个台阶上来，一下子就把我脚崴一个大金包。他那个工作人员拿喇叭就往我耳朵上整那个警笛声就刺我耳朵。
So her members from the embassy were using the megaphone and its extremely loud sound to put it onto my ear, and she was horning her car, and the sound of her horning was also very loud, and the sound from the megaphones of her members to my ear was also extremely loud.
后来我就把他那个喇叭给他扒到后面去了，我就搁那个底下，搁他赶紧我底下钻着，我就给他录，他就骂我，我俩就对骂起来。
And I tried to block with my arm the megaphone stretched to me, and I tried to make myself lower, and so that I'll escape. And then she was beginning to curse me, and then it's our cursing each other.
还有就是我是一个草根儿啊，是一个60多岁的老人，他派了那么多外交官，啊，30个人对着我一个人拿喇叭，就是对着我们。然后金月花也快到60岁了，我们都是老年人，他们都是中国训练有素的国宝。
So as a or as a 6-year-old woman, and if being confronted with a strong young man, and also Jin Yuehua, my protesting mate, is also a woman of high age, and in comparison to the people who are well-trained security guards.
他们就是骂我的话哈，那个下流啊，简直就是他们就不配为外交官说的那话，太下流了，流氓都说不出来那样话。
And all these people, they are diplomats. Some of them are so-called state security cadres of the Chinese police. And the language they use to curse me are so obscene, and even the hooligans can now speak out such dirty words.
更下流的是，有一个外交官比着生殖器对准我比邻，就这样的，这是外交官吗？流氓都不能这样，拿生殖器比邻我。
And even more dirty, that's one of the diplomats who was using the gesture of showing his reproductive organ towards me. That's showing with this obscene, indecent gesture.
还有徐学渊啊，他是 那个中国驻美国大使馆公使是2号人物他作为公使能带领他的手下外交官骂出这种下流的话真的让我难以想象。
And Xu Xueyuan, as the second most important figure of the Chinese embassy, as a minister, and she and the people under her leadership as diplomats who could speak out such dirty words is totally imaginable.
我呼吁美国政府按照美国宪法给徐学渊以及打我们那么多的外交官他都给我们立案了请求美国政府给他们驱逐出境。
And I appeal to the U.S. and American governments to expel Xu Xueyuan and the Chinese diplomats who were beating us for the American government has already established cases for us.
美国是以基督教立案的国家，是世界自由的灯塔我相信那个美国那个能那个为我们中国这些在中国为人权迫害的这些所有的访民伸张正义。谢谢大家。
And the United States is the country established on Christianity, and it is the torch of liberty. And I hope that USA can do justice for us all. Thank you.
对，陈树广先生的被徐学渊攻击，正因为他被攻击，被徐学渊造假案，才有了王晨燕、金月花、艾芙蓉，我们几个人这个一起来到华盛顿声援，才发生了刚才那一幕。所以陈树广跟这个王晨燕、金月花、艾芙蓉，我们都是非常好的朋友。
Mr. Chen Shuguang was first of all attacked by Xu Xueyuan, and which leads to the later sceneries you have seen, and the Xu Xueyuan's false accusation against Mr. Chen Shuguang made us to come to support him, and we, such like Mrs. Jin Yuehua, Mrs. Wang Chunyan, and Mr. Ai Furong, we are all good friends for Mr. Chen Shuguang.
下面陈树广给大家讲情况。
女士们、先生们、记者们，大家好。
Ladies and gentlemen, dear journalists, good afternoon.
我是来自广东的访民。
I'm a petitioner from Guangdong Province.
我在中国受司法迫害，至今已经25年了。
It has been 25 years since I was persecuted by corrupted judiciary system in China.
我从2019年12月份开始，在中国大使馆门前，住帐篷，一直住到2021年10月份。
Ever since December of 2019 until October of 2021, I've been living in a tent in front of the Chinese embassy.
在2021年7月26日，美国的副国务卿舒尔曼去中国天津访问的时候，他们有个天津会议，他们达成了一定的协议，就把我在那个2021年10月7号，他就给我要驱赶我离开帐篷。
上是一个逻辑的
在2021年7月份，美国副国务卿舒尔曼女士 去中国访问，在天津跟中国外长王毅进行了会谈。
In July 2021, the deputy of the state of the Department of State, Mrs. Sherman, held a conversation in Tianjin with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi.
中国政府就向美国政府提出了2份清单，其中一份就是个别个案的清单，其中就说有美不法分子在骚扰、冲撞我使领馆。
And during this conversation, the Chinese side has provided the American side with a list of details, during which there's a sub-list of registering, including me, as the law breakers, as the illegal ones in front of the Chinese embassy in America.
美国国务院、美国白宫特勤局在2021年10月7日晚上要把我驱逐出帐篷，要拆掉帐篷。
The U.S. Department of State, together with the Secret Service, would try to drive me away out of my tent in the evening of October the 7th in the year 2021.
我就向警察说，美国宪法第1修正案保护我和平请愿的权利，我有权利在这里住帐篷，进行和平请愿的活动。
I told the American police that the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution protected my peaceful petitioning. I have the right to live in this tent to carry on my peaceful protest.
美国警察就把我逮捕。
I was then arrested by American policemen.
把我送进了监狱一个晚上。
Sent into prison for one night.
他们知道我的行为没有违法，所以他们没有起诉我。
They do know that my behavior didn't break the law, so they didn't make lawsuit against me.
10月8号，就是释放我回到帐篷的时候，美国特勤局就给了我一张禁止令，禁止我5年不能去中国大使馆周边的地方和平请愿。
On the second day, namely October the 8th, the American Secret Service ordered, they gave me a restriction order banning me for 5 years of not being authorized to enter the areas near the Chinese embassy.
还有另外一个广东女访民蔡秀玲，她也是被发出了5年的禁止令，跟我一样，不能去中国大使馆进行和平请愿的活动。
Another Chinese petitioner, a lady, Tsai Xiu-ling, just like me, was also issued this such a restriction order of 5 years of not being authorized to enter that area for our activities of petitioning.
中国大使秦刚大使，他在2021年8月份上任的时候，不久就向我们广大的海外侨胞发出了一个公开信。
Upon Mr. Qin Gang went to his position as ambassador. He sent to all the in America living Chinese an open letter.
他就说是为我们广大侨胞做好事、办实事、解难事，他是带着这个这个愿望和这个责任而来的。
In this letter, he wrote to us, all the Chinese living abroad, that he is coming with the concern of doing good deeds, doing actual deeds, and solving difficulties.
为此，我和蔡秀玲女士就一起从她秦刚大使上任不久，我就和蔡秀玲女士一起到秦刚大使的官邸向他请愿。
So after Mr. Qin Gang have taken his position as ambassador, I and Mrs. Tsai Xiuling were going together to his residency for our petitioning.
在2022年的6月25日，晚上6点多吧。
It's about 6 p.m. On June the 25th, 2022.
我像往常一样，我那天是一个人单独去秦刚大使的官邸请愿。
Just like usual, on that day I was going by myself, lonely, to the residency of Ambassador Qin Gang for petitioning.
当时秦刚大使就在他的官邸里面打网球。
At the time, Ambassador Qin Gang was playing tennis inside his residency.
我就左手拿着高音喇叭，右手拿着我的手机，正在拍摄。
And I was taking video with my right hand holding my mobile phone and my left hand holding the megaphone.
就在这个时候，我很专注的看见拍着秦刚大使，没想到突然间，在我的右手边出现了一个女人。
As I was focusing on taking videos on Ambassador Qin Gang, suddenly appeared a woman at my right-hand side.
她向我说：“你袭击我。”
She's telling me, "You are attacking me. You are attacking me."
我就转过头来向她说：“我怎样袭击你？我正在用手机拍着你。”
I then turned my head to her, telling her, "How can I attack you while I was taking video of you?"
这个女人突然间就伸手把我的手机抢过去，摔到那个马路那里。
And this woman suddenly stretched out her hand and snatched my mobile phone away, and then threw it on the street.
我当时我身上还胸口这里还挂着这个一模一样的随身拍摄的录像仪。
And then I was using this recording device in front of my chest. just like I'm now showing you the same one.
我当时一看就认出他，因为这个徐学渊公使，我在2020年的时候去中国大使馆请愿的时候，我在拍摄的时候，他就骂我是美国的走狗。
As I possibly have met her before, as I was protesting or petitioning in front of the Chinese embassy in the year 2020, she was cursing me, yelling to me that you are the minion of the USA.
Running dog of USA.
美国的走狗。
You are the minion, or just like is familiar to many of them, the phrase which was invented by the Mao Zedong as the running dog of USA.
我就说，你袭击我，报警。
And I said, you were attacking me, calling the police out.
然后我就走到马路中间，把我的手机拾起来。
And I walked to the middle of the street to pick up my phone.
然后他就跟他的女保镖和秦刚大使的私人保安讲了一些什么话之后，那个保安就向我走过来，要来逮捕我。
And then she talked something to her. She talked with her bodyguard, with her female bodyguard, something, as well as talked with the security guard.
就是这个画面，他讲完话以后就。
It's just this scene. What this screen is now showing you?
他抢完手机，他就跟那个保安一起，跟他的女保镖向那个美国保安说了一些什么以后，然后那个保安就过来。
After she did that on the screen, what was it showing? She talked together with her female bodyguard to this security guard something.
由于我不会英文。
Because I cannot speak English,
所以也听不懂他讲什么。他也听不懂我讲什么。
Cannot understand what this bodyguard, what this security guard was saying, and he could also not understand me.
我看见保安要抓我的左手，我就马上用我的手机拨打911求救。
As I was seeing that this security guard stretching out his hands to snatch my left hand, I took out my phone to call 911.
但是那个保安就又要抢我的手机。
But at that time, meanwhile, this security guard was trying to snatch away my phone.
因为我的手机是拍有徐学渊抢我手机的犯罪证据。
Because in my phone there is the evidence for the crime committed by Xu Xueyuan of robbing me of my phone.
徐学渊把我手机摔出马路，没有把我手机摔坏，让我的手机保存了拍摄他的犯罪证据。
Although Xu Xueyuan threw my phone onto the street, it didn't destroy my phone, so that my phone can store the evidence of crime she committed.
我就不能让这个保安把我手机抢走，把我手机的 重要的证据给它销毁。
I cannot let this security guard to successfully snatch away my phone, so that together with it, my evidence of the crime of Xu Xueyuan should also be gone with.
保安就把我绊倒在地下。
And the security guard tried to stumble me down onto the ground.
然后就整个我就躺在地下，他就整个身体就坐在我的身上。
And I was lying on the ground with him sitting on my body.
而且他又抢我，我在打电话给蔡秀玲和赵岩先生，可惜他们都没接电话。我想求助。
And I was trying to asking for help by calling Mr. Zhao Yan or Mr. They both didn't receive my call.
这个保安一直想抢我手机。
This security guard was trying to snatch my phone away.
他抢不到就不断的用他的拳头，还有手指来打我的后背，还有打我这里，那个肋骨这里。
While he did not manage to snatch my phone away, he began to hit me with his fists on my back, also as I show you.
导致我浑身伤痕累累。
Which made me being hurt, wounded around my body.
很可惜，我朋友那个蔡秀玲要做一个视频，但是他赶不来，所以没有办法。这手机里面就有我受伤的照片，你们可以看一下。
It's a pity that Mrs. Tsai Xiuling, who's now making the editing of the video, the videos cannot reach this. Is not able to reach this conference room now. But in this phone, I'm now showing you are the evidences as videos stored.
在我再次打911求助的时候
，That's when I was calling again the 911 for help.
这个时候突然间就有一个人拉我的右手，我回头一看是美国特警局的警察。
At that time, there was one person dragging my right hand. As I turned my head back, and I found that is one policeman of the U.S. Secret Service.
我就放下我的手机，让他就没有任何的抵抗，就让那个警察把我的右手放到后面，两个手都放到后面。那个保安就给我扣上了手铐。
And I then put both of my hands down without any resistance to let him to put both of my hands backwards, and then the security guard handcuffed me.
由于我不会英文，但是我会我向蔡秀玲学了简单的1、2句，我就用英文说 I don't know English, Chinese interpreter.
Because I don't speak English, in spite of that, I learned a little bit English from Tsai Xiuling, so that I was saying,
I don't
know English, Chinese interpreter.
这句话在 特勤局逮捕我的整个过程里面，这句话我讲了近40次。
During the whole procedure of arresting me by the Secret Service, and this sentence, I don't know English, Chinese interpreter, I repeated it. I've been repeating it more than 40 times.
但在场的10几个美国警察、美国特勤局警察一直没有向我提供翻译。
But the more than 10 of the Secret Service police officers didn't provide me with a Chinese interpreter.
这个时候，曾经来了一辆救护车，来了2个医务人员。
And at that, meanwhile, there was a ambulance car coming with two healthcare.
由于我不会英文，我一直请求警察给我提供翻译，他们没有给我提供翻译，那2个医务人员也走了。
Because I don't know English, and the police officers didn't provide me with a Chinese interpreter. Although I emphasized a Chinese interpreter, these 2 healthcare professionals had to go away.
医务人员看见我那个外伤都是血淋淋的，但是他也没有跟我做任何的简单的治疗，什么都没有。
And the healthcare professionals didn't make any treatment, even simple treatment for me. They were seeing me with my wounds everywhere on body.
2个医务人员走了以后，警察就开始搜我身，把我的物品，扣留了，就把我放到那个警车里面。
After the 2 healthcare professionals went away, the police officers began to search me throughout my body. 把什么东西放在哪？
警车。
把你什么东西？
把我人送到警车。
And put him into the police car.
根据特勤局、国土安全局、国土安全局对特勤局调查刑事犯罪的时候，必须要提供合资格的翻译，但是他们根本没有向我提供任何翻译。
In accordance with the stipulation of the Department of Homeland Security to the Secret Service that when investigating they have to provide suitable interpreters, but they didn't provide me with interpreter.
我被关在那个警车以后，由于我浑身都是受伤。又让那个保安打了以后，我就出现了头晕、头疼、胸口疼、很闷疼，要吐、想吐。
And as I was locked into the police car, since I suffered the beating by that security guard, and I was suffering headache, ache in the chest, and dizziness, and the feeling of vomiting.
这时候警察才让我怕我身体有什么特别的不舒服，他就让我从那个警车里面站到外面。呼吸新鲜空气。
At that time, the police officers were maybe fearing that I was suffering uncomfortableness, so that they led me to sit near the window to breathe fresh air.
这时候才来了一个特勤局的警察，他会一点点中文。
And at that time, then came a police officer of the Secret Service who could speak a little bit Chinese.
他就问我是否需要帮助，需不需要去医院？我说是，我很难受。
He asked me if I need help, if I need to be sent to hospital, and I answered yes. I feel very sick.
我去到医院接受检查，拍了 X 光，那个医生大约就说我没有骨折，但是没有帮我处理我的那个外表的伤痕，根本没有处理。
And being sent to the hospital, and I have gone through the medical checks and X-ray, and the doctor told me that there were no bone fracture on me, but they didn't handle my outside wounds.
在医院的时候，我向这个特勤局警察就陈述。
In the hospital, I was making my narrative to this police officer of Secret Service.
我说你们可以逮捕我。
I said you can arrest me.
但是你要逮捕我之前，应该要听我陈述，看我的证据。
But before you arrest me, you have to hear my narrative and to inspect the evidence.
你们现在没有听我陈述，也没有看我证据，你就逮捕我。
And now you didn't hear my narrative and didn't see any evidences, and you'd like to arrest me.
但是警察并没有在他的报告里面写到我这个陈述，他只是说我为什么受伤，是因为保安袭击我导致的。
But the police officers didn't write this into their report, but only with the content the cause of why I got wounded. It's because the safety guard had attacked me.
然后就我的伤口没有受到任何的处理，就把我从医院送到2区警察局的看守所。
Without treating of my open wounds, I was sent to the detainment center of the police department in second zone of Washington D.C.
看守所也没有给我提供正式的翻译。
And the detainment center didn't provide me with official interpreter.
也没有向我宣读我的权利。
And neither did they declare to me my rights.
然后大约我在2区看守所大约半个小时以后，我就被送到中央看守所。
After I've been staying in the detainment center of the second zone of the police department of DC, I was sent to the detainment center. I was sent to the central detainment center.
我在中央看守所才第一次有获得了正式的中文翻译。
And at the Central Internet Center, I first have had access to an official Mandarin interpreter.
我就向看守所拿了一些止血铁来贴我的伤口。
And I asked, I took some of the healing, I took some of the, I'm so sorry. Yes. Oh, what's this?
Band-aid.
Okay. I took some. I took from there some of the wound plasters to stop my bleeding.
我在看守所被关了2夜3天。
I was detained in the detention center for 3 days and 2 nights.
在法庭是扣上了手铐、脚镣、腰链，上堂的。
And to the court, I was brought to the court with a handcuff, foot cuff, and the chain, the metal chain in my waist.
我被诬告以后，被那个检察官控我3项罪名。
I was suited for 3 items of crimes during this malicious false accusation.
第一项是袭击、抢手机。
The first is attacking or assaulting and grabbing a phone.
第二项是袭警。
The second is attacking police.
第三项是拒捕。
The third is refuse to be arrested.
另外还给我下了2张禁止令，禁止我去中国大使馆和大使官邸。
Besides, I was granted 2 orders of restriction, restricted me from going to the Chinese embassy as well as the residency of ambassador.
我从法院开庭以后释放，就去到2区看守所2区警察局取回我的手机。
I went to the police station of the second zone in DC after I was released through this court trial.
但是我的我这个随身的录像仪一直扣留在白宫特勤局。
But this pocketable recorder, video recorder, was detained all the time in the by the security service of White House.
我拿回我的手机，看到我手机上面拍了1分52秒的录像，就证实我没有抢人家的手机，也没袭击徐学渊，也没抢徐学渊的手机，是徐学渊袭击我，抢我手机。
As I saw what I've taken as video in my phone for the time of 1 minute and 52 seconds, I noticed that they showed that I didn't grab the phone of Xu Xueyuan, but she did snatch away my phone. I didn't attack attacked him or I didn't assault him, assault her. On the contrary, she did on me.
Or maybe I asked the question.
我就马上把我这个视频的链接发给我的政府律师，让他马上把这个视频转给这个检察官。
I then sent immediately this video to the government, to my governmental attorney, so that it can be furthered to the DA.
但是律师一直拖了将近半个月，也没依照我的请求把这个视频发给这个检察官。
But this attorney was hanging on all the time for a half month without sending it to the prosecutor.
我就通过白宫特勤局的法务部，让他马上把我这个视频链接发给这个检察官。这个视频证明我没有抢徐学渊的手机，也没有袭击徐学渊。
That I sent this video to the legal service department of the Secret Service with the link, the online link of the video, to verify that I didn't attack Xu Xueyuan and didn't snatch her phone away.
而且一直提醒检察官，还有美国特勤局，我们向他有关的部门反映，由于特勤局还扣留了我这个随身录像仪，所以我们很担心这个随身录像仪里面拍的证据给特勤局销毁了。
So we were reminding the Secret Service and the prosecutor that's about the facts, and we were worrying that this portable recorder with the evidence in it could be destroyed by the Secret Service.
因为特勤局它有销毁我们视频证据的历史。
Because the Secret Service has a history of destroying our video evidences.
在座的这个艾芙蓉，她的行车记录仪就曾经让美国白宫特勤局非法搜查以后，把它的里面的视频给销毁了。
Mr. Ai Fu-rong, sitting among us, has experienced that
大使馆的2号人物徐学渊。
In my case of injustice, involved is repeatedly the second important member of the Chinese embassy, Minister Xu Xueyuan.
他对我的诬告还涉及到了美国保安公司那个保安员做伪证、欺骗美国政府的犯罪行为。
And her false accusation against me involves also the criminal behavior of the security guard hired through the American security company, making perjury to the American government.
也涉及到了美国国务院，还有美国特勤局、2区警察局，他们不罔顾程序，罔顾我应有的权利。
怎么样？
就是也涉及到美国国务院、美国白宫特勤局、2区警察局，他们 罔顾我的权利，不向我提供翻译，也不告诉我的权利的情况下面就把我逮捕了。
It also involves the fact that security service and Department of State, they ignored my rights, and without providing me with an interpreter, they arrested me.
下一步，我准备联系我的律师，准备要对徐学渊提起诉讼。
And from now on, I will contact my attorney to raise my suit.
向做伪证袭击我的保安诉讼。
And will make lawsuit against the security guard who was making perjury and was attacking me.
向不顾违反程序、罔顾我的权利的美国国务院、美国白宫特勤局，还有2区警察局提起诉讼。
I will raise lawsuit against the U.S. Secret Service, the Department of State, and the Department of Police of the Second Zone, who ignored my rights.
我先讲到这里，如果大家有问题问，请问。
And so far, to make my speech, there's any question that you can raise.
Well, thank you very much. My name's Evan Ingram. I'm from the Asahi Shimbun. Thanks for the presentations and for the very compelling testimony today. It's very much appreciated. I just had a couple of quick questions, sort of more background questions. One, is there anything that unites the petitioners here prior to the injustice that they faced in China? In other words, were they ever part of the same group prior to losing their property or otherwise, having their rights violated in China?
我是来自日本朝日新闻的记者Evan Ingram，非常感谢你们提供的这个展示和你们的问题的解答。我有一个问题，就是我想知道，在这一切这个事情之前，你们在中国是不是因为有什么样的共同的情况把你们结合在一起？比如说在中国，你们是否来自于同一个组织，或者是经历了什么同样的事情？这样在此之前就已经联系到一起了。
我们，
谢谢记者先生。我们这群访民呢，都是在中国的时候，受到了那个强拆啊，或者是那个强调财产，就是司法不公，就是来翻译。
So we are the petitioners who were robbed of assets or suffered from judiciary injustice.
他们都在法律上受到了不公平的待遇。
So we were all treated with unfair in the court, legal, not by law.
我们这是一个没有组织的一个松散型的访民。
We are an unorganized, loose petitioners.
就是由于在中国国内解决不了的问题，我们现在想把中国的法治的问题推到国际舞台上来解决。
So for the problems we cannot solve in China, we'd like to push it onto the international stage for resolution.
所以呢，希望呢，中国政府正视这种情况。这些访民都已经在美国已经 待了很长时间了，可是一直没有得到解决问题。
So we hope that the Chinese government will have keep an eye of justice on this, because we, the petitioners living in America, for many years and with our issues, our cases unsolved for so long.
也希望各个媒体朋友帮我们大力宣传，把这个希望中国能够法治尽快解决海外访民的问题推出去。
We also hope that friends from the media will make a intensive, powerful information for us, so that our problems could be solved as soon as possible, so that our issues could be pushed outside here.
让这些访民能够过上正常的生活。
To let the petitioners to live a normal life. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a couple of follow-ups, if I might. So, would it be fair then to say that the petitioners did not know each other in China, but they faced similar circumstances in China, and they met here in the United States? Also, they're not bound, for example, by religious affiliation or some other cause. Is that true?
那么就是不是可以说，那么这些访民在中国是互相不认识，他们是在美国见到的，也并不是一个比如说，也并不是通过宗教信仰或者其他的原因而结合在一起的。
你说的很对，这些都是在中国不认识的。
You are totally right. We don't know each other in China.
但是他们都受到中国政府的那种司法腐败的欺压。
But we were all suppressed by the corruption of jurisdiction in China.
所以他们现在走到一起来了。
So we come together now.
希望我们是希望集合我们各个这个苦难的访民，能够团结在一起，逼迫中国政府正视我们的问题。
We hope that we can unify the petitioners who suffered a lot, so that the Chinese government will seriously deal with our problems.
中国有这样的情况很多，就像在北京，中国的上访局每天都有几千人、几万人的去往北京去上诉。
Similar cases are very obvious in China. For example, in Beijing, the National Bureau for Petition in front of them there are thousands of there are thousands or even hundreds there's several thousands or several 10,000 people coming from everywhere in the whole country there for petitioning.
在中国全国上这种情况的有超过3000万的人民。
哇塞 And in China, the people suffering from the similar situations are over 30 million.
你看，一个3000个都牵了很多家庭兄弟姐妹，所以呢，这是一个中国现在最严重的，记着有紧迫的解决问题的这个很大的责任。
So and it is involved with the whole the families and the affiliates, the friends. So it is one of the most it's one of the most problems which need to be solved with emergency.
这个3000多万人变成1000年的事情，1000年的这个责任变成了超过过亿了，可是他们一直都没有解决的办法，这是中国现在面临着最严重的问题，整个国家的稳定是非常重要。
This is the most serious. This is the most serious problem which China is now facing. For it is about the safety of the country. For it will get involved with this over 30 million people with their family members, which will be totaling about the people of more than 100 million.
Great. Oh, just one more, if I might. In the case of Ms. Xiaojie, who was pushed down and is now in the hospital, was her case reported to the police here in the United States or to the federal government? If so, was the video of that incident shown to the police? And what has been the police's response?
我这里如果你不介意的话，问就是关于乔杰女士呢，她是被打倒在地送到医院，她的案件有没有被报到警察那里，报到联邦政府？那警方的反应又是什么？
非常感谢你提这个问题啊。乔杰的案件已经由特勤局当时就立案了，而且给了我们案件号。
Thank you for your question. Mrs. Xiaojie's issue is that the police established a case and was giving us a case number.
那么案件号的这个应该是在电脑当中啊。当时的警察就特勤局的这个警察就说，我看到那个就是中国大使馆的一个年轻警官，把他打倒了。
So the case number one young police officer of Secret Service was saying that I saw she was pushed down by an embassy member. But it's correctly more accurately to say I saw as we will see and hear from the video. The police officer says she got pushed down. She got pushed down.
我们要求特勤局的警官依照美国法律抓捕打人凶手。
We require that the police officer of the Secret Service will arrest the hitman by law.
但是那个警官在视频里有说一句话，就说他们逃回了中国大使馆的官邸，我们没有办法抓他。
But as shown in the video, the police officer was saying that they run back into the Chinese embassy. We cannot arrest him.
那在乔杰被打的前几天，还有另外一个案件号，就是王春燕女士被大使馆的官员不仅骂，而且也打。
One day before the case of Mrs. Xiao Jie, there's another case number of the case about that the fact that Mrs. Wang Chunyan was not only cursed by Chinese embassy members, but also that's beaten by them.
那个案子也有案件号。
And this has also its case number.
我现在手机在直播，所以我没办法。
Because I'm now making the live broadcasting with my mobile phone, I cannot search it out for you.
那么关于打人的使馆的叫做大使馆的工作人员，也是他们的安保警察，穿便衣的。
Three of the people who took part in this beating, they are the security members and in plain clothes.
他们的那个工作证还是身份，我们看不到，就是他不让我们过去，都被那个特勤局记录在案。
And their IDs, could be their identity card or their employee cars, which can now be seen by us on spot, were all recorded by the police officers.
那这2天，我和艾芙蓉，包括金月华，也都在被攻击的范围之内，也是被害人。
And I, together with Mr. Aifurong and Mrs. Jin Yuehua, together with me, we are also the victim. We are also the victims of the attacks in those 2 days.
8月11号那天，在现场有一个骂人骂得最欢，而且做很多猥亵动作的一个大使馆的官员，被特勤局给警官给扣了，戴上铐子了，当着很多人的面戴上手铐子，他因为还偷了陈述馆的喇叭。
One of the members of the Chinese embassy who was obviously who was making especially obvious dirty words, cursing us and doing indecent activities of indecent gestures of obscenity, was arrested and handcuffed by the Secret Service in front of us.
但是非常遗憾，美国国务院外国官员保护司的官员也穿着警服来到现场。
But what a pity is that the officials in police uniform of the Department of Diplomatic Media Protection of the Department of State came.
非常遗憾的把这些不知道他们有豁免权还是没豁免权的人都给放掉了。
And they released these people without knowing or notifying us if they have diplomatic immunity or not.
非常希望在座的这个记者，熟悉美国法律的记者，能够通过你们的采访，让我们知道他们的身份到底有豁免权还是没有豁免权。
Hoping heartedly that the journalists who are familiar with laws and regulations in the United States will try to help us by finding out if these people have diplomatic immunity or not.
我们非常不理解的是，美国国务院的安保司的工作人员，和他们的高级领导谢尔曼，为什么要把在大使馆前面的公共花园，王春燕女士和陈曙广先生所搭建的帐篷，进行请愿和抗议的帐篷给拆掉了？
We don't understand at all why the officials of the security department of the Department of State, they have demolished the tent in front of the Chinese embassy where or in which Mr. Chen Shuguang was living for protesting activities.
他们违反了美国的宪法，把大使馆门前的公园到现在还用铁栏杆圈上，其目的就是为了满足大使馆官员的提出的要求。
And they made a fencing with metal rails around the public garden at the Chinese embassy, and they are making breach of the U.S. Constitution.
这种行为不仅
Or are they only going to make the Chinese embassy satisfied with that?
这种行为不仅违反了美国的宪法，
And this kind of behavior does not only break the U.S. Constitution,
也把美国的公共财产划成美国国务院的私产，以进行阻止我们的和平抗议，等于把美国的权利都让给中国大使馆的官员。
Yes.
But it's also transferring the public assets to the private assets of the Department of State, which means the transferring of rights of the 把什么权利都让给
美国的
公共地产、
公共财产、公共地产、公共这个土地，划成国务院的私产，等于把美国的权利都让给中国大使馆的官员。
It's equal to transferring the public assets, the public rights of the assets of America to the Chinese embassy.
从而实现大使馆官员跨境镇压我们这些和平请愿的人。
So that it realizes the transnational repression of the Chinese embassy against us, the peaceful petitioner.
他们的行为等于违反了美国宪法。那中国访民的行为，从王春燕不认罪开始，一直到陈世广今天的这个被打、被抓，揭露，他们对证据的毁灭和不认可。
So their activities, their behaviors of breaking the American Constitution, and our activities from the non-consent to crime of Mrs. Wang Chunyan until today, Mr. Chen Shuguang's activities, until the facts of their trying to destroy the evidences for involved with Mr. Chen Shuguang.
还有，艾福荣先生站在刘贺车，前面以后被移民局抓去2个多月，他有合法的身份，审查1个小时就足够了，他有合法身份证件给拿出来。但是为了满足大使馆的报复，关了艾福荣2个多月，接近3个月。
And in the case involves Mr. Ai Furong, who was arrested and detained by the Secret Service, by the Immigration Service for more than 2 months, almost 3 months, while he has his legal identity, which could verified in 1 hour. And that is only to satisfy the hatred and revenge view of the Chinese embassy.
他们污染了中国的法治环境，也污染着美国的法治环境。
They polluted the environment of law, of legal system in United States of America.
我们将对上述的所有的案件进行彻底的违宪审查、追诉。
We'll raise the inspection, the check of anti-constitution investigation for all the above-mentioned cases.
美国正因为开启了宪政，开启了违宪审查，才有了在世界上最伟大的、自由的、民主的、法治的、人权的光环。
And just because that United States has opened the way of inspection of breaking the Constitution. So it has opened the door of the greatest democracy and human rights.
但是时常我们要警惕那些想破坏美国法治环境的那些恶徒。
Always we should be aware, we should be alarmed, vigilant of these thugs who like to make breach of the American laws.
和那些在政府机构当中跟中国大使馆腐败的外交官员们勾结在一起迫害人权的美国官员。
As well as beware of that these diplomatic or non-diplomatic officials serving in the American government who was colluding with corrupted Chinese officials to prosecute human rights in America.
让我们一起联起手来，让美国重新伟大，让美国的宪法更加的闪闪发光。
Let's join hand in hand to make America great again, to make the American Constitution in its glorious again.
因为它对生活在美国土地上的，无论是美国人，还是中国人，还是非洲人，还是南美人，还是欧洲人，还是中东人，每一个人的意义都非常重大。
Because it has an in-depth meaning for, it has an important meaning for all the people who are living in this, on these lands, whether you are from Europe, from Middle East, from Asia, from South America, or anywhere.
谢谢，谢谢，今天的发布会到此结束。
Thank you very much, and this is the end of today's press conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.